Wizards of the Coast has made a mistake, and it's a mistake that players are taking advantage of each and every day right now. Now, in today's video, we're going to talk about it. The amount of deals available, with Wizards of the Coast ramping up production of faster and faster Magic the Gathering products, so many get left behind that when stores go to clear these out and the Amazon dumps, it is making those products available to players at a much reduced price. And that also means there are implications in other areas of the market with suppression of prices, allowing for better deals, and we're going to talk about it. Before we start today's video, Wizards of the Coast has made this all possible. Remember that. Welcome back, everyone. MTG Moxman here. Thanks again for hanging out with me on my channel today. And I mean that. This is a direct result of Wizards of the Coast and outside factors. When they started messing around with speeding up production, when they gave us 30th anniversary and they started adding new products, new Masters products, reprinting things, they gave such a pace that stores couldn't keep up. They tried to. Players did too. Now, yes, some players got resentful, left the game. We have all kinds of hate and stuff, but that's not what I'm talking about. I want to talk about the deals that are out there now because of the after effect of what they did. After they've sold the product, they don't care what happens. It's off their books. It went to a distributor. Somehow it ended up at a store and an Amazon dump at some kind of discount or deal. And discounts and deals are everywhere, depending on what you think a deal or a discount is. We have all bought cards. We have all purchased sealed products at some point in our lives. At least I think most of us have. Unless somebody just got a whole bunch of cards given to them by a friend or something. But generally speaking, we've been to pre-releases. We bought Commander decks. We've indulged probably in some reserve list cards or some reprint targets, like a Ragavan. We've bought this stuff. And being able to get a good deal, and yes, it comes at a cost. Knowing that is important too. When we buy these products on the secondary market from a store that's closing, a place that's just trying to clear the books to get money back, it's usually hurting an LGS. They've just got to get it off the books. It is coming from somewhere. And it has a lower price attached to it because they need to get it out the door. And we are all waiting for the right moment to pounce, the right deal to come along that we say yes. And it's not just sealed product. It's not just modern singles. It's reserve list cards. It's old cards as well. People who overindulged or maxed out credit cards got caught with this and had the trouble of trying to liquidate entire collections. And when that happens, it's a race to the bottom all over again. It's like a complete reversal of what we've known. And it's because, again, what Wizards of the Coast did. The exposure they put into the market, that shakeup, caused a whole bunch of fear. And a lot of players ran away. A lot of players got hateful, spiteful, resentful for messing with something that has been in place for almost 25 years. Now, when we think of deals, here is Streets of New Capenna collector box. Was $269, originally it was $299, now it's marked to $269, and now it's $199, and this is a Canadian price, and yes, this is from 401 Games. Is $199 for a Streets of New Capenna collector box a good deal? That'd be what, $140 in the US, give or take a little bit? It'd be pretty inexpensive there as well. Is that a good deal? We got Triumphs in there. We got some good cards. We got Ledger Shredder. We've got some decent cards in there. But is that enough to make players buy it? Well, it's still on sale. So there's not enough of a deal to draw enough of the players out. If you put it for $150, would it be a good deal? $140, $130 Canadian, $89.99 US for that collector box. That's what we're talking about. Stores eventually have to clear things out, no matter how much it hurts them. If they're in financial trouble, they're just going to keep marking it down until they find the selling point. It happens all the time in a lot of different businesses out there. Even the big companies that fail, like Zellers, the Eaton Center here in Toronto, when things closed, eventually they're selling things a dime on the dollar just to get it out, to get something back into the cash flow that they need as they close down the business. But when you look at the different deals out there, here's a Juzam Djinn, and this is a card, of course, I need for my Arabian Nights collection, so I was looking at this card. I do not have the money to buy it. This is $17.99 Canadian for a moderately played one from Face to Face Games here in Toronto. I looked at it and said, I think this is a really good deal. I wish I had the cash to buy that card. I wish I had it, because I consider that a good enough deal for me to want to buy the card. So for me, that's a good deal. because most of the times I've seen it, it's been $2,500, $2,600 for that kind of condition. So I think it's a great deal. Would I like it lower? Absolutely. But even there, I still can't afford it. But I know, to me, in my eye, in my brain, that's a good deal. Visually, I look at it and say, yeah, that's a pretty good price from where things have been. But they could go lower. So part of your brain might draw you back. Now, if Wizards of the Coast reprinted reserve list cards, would that card have that same value? Probably not initially. There'd be a huge fear factor again, the shakeup of the market. And that shakeup, when it comes along, and it's happened before with things like From the Vault, relics and stuff like that. They've done this kind of stuff before that shakes people around. It doesn't happen very often. 30th anniversary is definitely one of those shakeups to see how the market reacts. The lower prices, the overall feeling from the Magic community now is just so negative toward this kind of stuff that a lot of players are just passing it by. But let me ask you this. If somebody said to you, this bank stock used to be $120 and it's going to pay you $10 a year for a dividend that you'll get every 6 months, okay? Are you going to pass on it if it's $48? It's on sale. It's a deal, isn't it? It's different when you put things together because, of course, you're not getting a dividend for that Shazam Djinn. But what happens if it pops back up 5 years from now? This is where a lot of people have that debate. What if it all comes back? What if we come around again? What if things get better? That's the interesting side jaunt to this story. Because things have come back before too. And things have resurged again. Even after these near fatal misses by Wizards of the Coast, things can recover. Things can go up higher, and that's where the players have the dilemma of deciding, is that a good enough deal to risk my capital? Losing it all, going to zero. Zero. You have to be willing. It's cardboard. It can go to zero and be worthless. Understand that going in, and then decide on the price point. Now, how about this? Is this a deal? So here we have the Commander Legends Battle for Baldur's Gate draft box. $119.95 Canadian. Okay, so I guess that's what? That's going to be like 85 US roughly. Is that a good enough deal for players to start buying it? And yep, this is 401 Games again because it had the lowest price. So I look at that and say, is that a good enough deal? That's not good enough for me. I'll tell you right now. Yes, they have it on sale, but that's not a deal to me. If it was $89.99, that's a deal, and I would probably buy some boxes. But that's another, 20% off. They haven't gone that far, have they? And they probably won't. Because they must be selling at least a couple of boxes because they haven't lowered it from that price point. Well, hey, how about this? Is this a deal? Here we have a Mox Emerald. Heavily played. This thing is heavily played, and it's $4,200, but it's beta. This is beta, okay? Think about that. That is crazy to think that this thing used to be $8,000. Heavily played was probably around $6,500 to $7,000, and look at it now, all the way down to $4,200. And if you're a member of this store, like if you have the loyalty program there, singles are 10% off. So that's another $400. So that's $3,800 plus tax. This is where we're at because this store, 401, face to face, they need to move these. So they've lowered their prices. They need to move them. Just like big companies, just like Wizards moving to distribution, everyone's got to move something. And every store out there is trying to get into your wallet. They're saying, come on, come to us. This is the best deal. Come buy it. And that leaves everyone open to exposure saying, is it a good deal? Now, here is Harry T. Now, this is Imperial Seal. Yes, it's a reprintable card. This is the Judge promo that used to be $1,000. Now it's only $287. This thing was $1,000. And then they reprinted it. So at $287 as a Judge foil, is that a good deal now? Does that strike players as saying that's something worth buying? Or they just go and buy an $80 copy now that it's been reprinted? Kind of crazy to think about, right? That's the Imperial Seal. And it's never really recovered right now. But will it recover? Will it come back around again? Now, another one I want to share with you guys is going to be Dominaria United. And I have some singles cards too, but this is Dominaria United. I bought my boxes for $309 Canadian plus tax. So now these are $170, and this is on Amazon, so that's like $220. So it's still $100 less than I paid per box. So I lost out on $600. I still have mine sealed, and these things have Lost Legends. So if we've got the Lost Legends in there, You could have an Abyss, you could have a Tabernacle, or you could have Bupkis. You could have nothing in there. So what happened? Where are we going with this? It's Stormir United. You could have Sheoldred in there, the Apocalypse. Is it enough of a deal to move that product? Probably not. Because again, we're fighting for space, and a player might appeal to set boxes more, or a draft box, or there's singles they want to get their hands on over sealed product. And that store is left wondering, how low do I have to go to sell that product? What's it going to take? Now, here's Yavimaya Cradle of Growth. Retro frame, foil etched. I paid $25 for each copy I bought. And now, they only cost you $8.38 if you're on TCG Player. And of course, if you're going to buy anything on TCG Player, don't forget to use my affiliate link found in the description of each and every video I make. They're right there and it's available. You click that link, it takes you for your shopping experience on TCG, and we get a kickback of 3.5% on this channel. So if you're going shopping there, consider using my link. So I want you to think about that. That card is an amazing card. Each land is a forest in addition to other land types. So it already taps for green, and every other land taps for green. We've got the Urborg Tomb of Yawgmoth, which covers all the swamps. Think about that. Used to be 25 bucks, now it's $8. They reprinted it in Lord of the Rings as Fangor and Forest, but now what happens if the next land cycle piece comes out in Modern Horizons 3? We don't know that. But FOMO would kick in and it'd be too late for you to buy it later. $8. But what's it going to be if they print the next land cycle? They give us blue or red or white. I've talked about this in a previous video. That card's going back up to 20 bucks, $25. It's going right back up, maybe even higher if it's a really desirable land cycle or if other cards connect even better with it. Interesting stuff to think about. And even old cards like the Dark. This is Goblin Wizard. I mean, he just taps to put a Goblin into play, okay? He's only a 1/1, and he's only found the Dark because he's reserve list. You can find this on TCG Player for $42. This thing used to be like $250. Is he any less desirable? No. He's still a very desirable card, and he still gets bought all the time. He sells like 10, 15 copies a week. But the price dropped so much that now it's affordable, so players are picking it up again. It's a good enough deal that enough players are buying the card. It's not spiking it, it's not doing anything but acting as the market acts. It's a good enough deal, where others on this list are probably not. Now, when you look at this as a big picture item of a good deal, everyone's going to look at some of these products and say, that's not a good deal. Yeah, that's a pretty good deal. That's not bad, but I wouldn't buy that. I would go for singles. We can look at all those different avenues, but the point is, people look for a good deal. And right now, everyone is fighting to get into your wallet, so you get to pick from all these. And the longer it takes for us as players to make our choices, the lower these things go. So waiting is not really a bad thing depending on what you're after out there. And waiting, I know, has led me to getting closer and closer to getting very expensive cards like that Juzam de Jin without paying a bucket of money, an extra $500, $600, $700. By waiting, I've saved that money by being patient. Now, it could turn around, of course, but I'm willing to take that risk because it's my money. And when it's your money, a lot of us have a lot more patience before we open our wallet and just start giving the money away, with the understanding we may never get that money back other than the enjoyment we get out of these cards. So all these crazy deals we're seeing right now from every local LGS every week trying to figure out ways to get us to spend money on Magic, the weakness we've seen in the market that Wizards of the Coast has caused made these deals happen. The overproduction of cards that players and stores can't absorb has led to these deals. Yes, these deals will eventually go away. They really will. Markets will tighten up, corrections will happen, and before you know it, things will be more of a solid pace, maybe slowly going up in price, or Wizards cuts production, people don't buy enough, and things shoot up through the roof. It can have extreme turns to it. So right now, enjoy that moment. Enjoy that moment of looking for a good deal, and before we end the video, let me know what you guys think a good deal is. You can name the stuff I've shown you today, or if you've seen a really good deal, I want you to flex. Put it in the comments section. Show me it. Email me. Let me know what you guys think is a good deal out there and where you've really come out ahead. But really, don't talk about 10 years ago. Let's get it in the last year or so with some of the crazy stuff going on. Thanks again for hanging out. Thanks for being here on the channel, everyone. It's amazing to share this experience with you every day, and I'll see you tomorrow for another video. And of course, a big shout out and thank you to the fantastic patrons we have on the channel. I get to upload daily content. It's made possible because of the fantastic patrons and YouTube membership members here on the channel supporting us each and every day. Thanks again to every one of you. You're amazing. Okay, you made it, guys. Now, let's explain something. I did 2 videos yesterday. You guys saw my ramble jamble yesterday. I was out of coffee a long time ago. I'm dying here. It's super hot with the lights on. And I'm just like, welcome to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Thank you for listening to me rant and rave for a moment. I'm glad you all made it. Yeah, kind of crazy with those Lord of the Rings spoilers. But not only that, it's the deals out there. I don't think people, like, when the deals are everywhere, you don't think much of them. You're like, oh, yeah, that's on sale. Yeah, okay, yeah. This was on sale. This was on sale. Maybe I saw that on sale or that. Yeah, there was a couple of singles they had a good discount on at face to face. I considered getting them, but maybe it'll be better next time. Compared to 2020, where we were so panicked to try to get our hands on some of these cards that everything was being bought out. There was buyouts every week. Things were going through the roof, and cards like Goblin Wizard used to be $250 to $300. That's crazy. And I opened one of those cards in a pack for a patron. He bought a pack and we opened it live on the screen, and he got a Goblin Wizard pack fresh. That's crazy to think about, that card went from being $300, $275 US, 300 plus, all the way down to 40 something dollars. And it's still kind of like steadily hanging in around that point, but it could go lower. The deals are out there, but what happens if they go away? How will players feel? Like, remember we used to get deals? Price memory, do you remember that? Because a lot of people will. It's crazy. Anyway, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for being here on the channel. You guys are amazing. You know it's true. And I hope you helped out. I hope you listened to my notes yesterday and you took care of all that stuff, because it's important to help out. It is. We're done. It's over. I'm clicking the off button now. You guys can just go left, go right, whatever you want to. Go up and down. Jump around. Jump up, and get down.